Goodbye, Lara. We are talking about this anime today, and this is genuinely one of the most unique animes I have ever seen. And that can be because I haven't seen enough animes. That can be because I haven't watched anime for long enough. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I feel like I watched anime for a long ass time, and I feel like I've seen a lot of animes. But you know, who knows, man? There might be another one out there just like this. But me, I haven't seen it, gang. This is genuinely very fucking unique, down to like the storyline and everything. Like, it's very unique, bro. I've never seen something like this, you know? And obviously you have your unique animes out there, definitely, but then there's animes that like follow the same like script, the same foundation and everything, and it gets generic and it just gets, you know, I've already seen something like this before. I mean, it's cool, it's good, but it's the same shit. But with this is hella different. It don't follow the same. I've never seen an anime like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those animes that you see and then you just like fall in love once you watch, you know, you watch it for long enough, and it's like you tend to realize how unique this shit really is. So it's very refreshing to see. Not only is it unique, it is also very good, and we're gonna get into that, but it's just like I gotta acknowledge it for being very unique because it's very different from your average anime. And obviously there's a lot of unique animes out there, but bro, I'm more of like a shonen nigga. You know, sometimes I watch romance here and there, you know, some sports here and there, you know, I did one dabble into other categories here and there, but it's like, you know, I'm very deep into shonen, so I'm used to seeing a lot of basic, the same shonen shit. So when I see an anime like this, bro, it's hella refreshing because it's like, gang, this is different from a lot of the shit I usually see, you know? And even with romance, there'll be some romance that's like, okay, I've seen this before, but like, this is really different. And it's also like a romance in a way, because we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that. But yeah, it's also like a romance in a way. It has a lot of categories in it. Like, it's not just one category at once. It's not classified as just a romance. It has a bunch of categories in it. So it's really interesting. It's very, very interesting. But we're gonna get into that right now. This anime is about a girl named Lara, and her story begins at the very start of episode 1, where they're showing when she was born. And she was born in 1777, which was like, damn. But it like makes sense because it's like, she's a mermaid, and I feel like mermaids would be born way back then, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it makes sense, but I feel like it would be like, you know, a time further back rather than 1777, because 1777 is crazy. 1777 was like more of a modern time back in that time, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. I probably just sound dumb as fuck. But anyways, regardless, yes, she was born in 1777, and we see her surrounded by her family, you know, her dad, her sisters, and shit like that. And one thing I peeped about them like heavy was like the colors that differentiate. Like, holy shit, I cannot speak, y'all. I can't fucking speak. One thing I peeped about them heavy, let's hope we don't stutter again because I'm really about to get mad. But yes, one thing I peeped about them heavy was the colors that the colors that they had. There were different colors between specific family members. Like, one of her sisters were blue, one of her sisters were red. Her dad was red. Some of the other family members were red, and some of the other family members were blue. But I don't think all the family members have red and blue colors. I'm not too sure. I kind of forgot because I did watch this like a day ago, and I watched it all in one sitting, damn near. But what I'm basically trying to say is that I'm wondering what that means. Like, I wonder what, you know, the red means for the other family members, or I wonder what the blue means for the other family members, because they have different colors. Like, one has, you know, one side has red, one side has blue. So I wonder what that means for the red side, or I wonder what that means for the blue side. I mean, even her sisters were debating on what color she would be when she would be born. So I'm guessing that the color shit is just a normal thing for her family, because even when you see her family in like the entire anime, a lot of them motherfuckers are just red and blue. There's not really a different color or a color switch, you know. I mean, except for one of her family members that we are going to get into, and I guess another guy that I guess is a part of their family, but I'm not too sure. But like, most of the time when you do see the family, it is just red and blue niggas. Like, it's red versus blue in this motherfucker. But yeah, she does end up being born, and she is born as the number 6 princess, which I'm guessing that gives her some special thing, because a lot of people in the anime do say that she is very special. Like this witch, for example, named Grace. She says there is something very special about Lara. Even the father knows that there is something very special about Lara, because Lara basically has this light that holds the castle up together, and if her light is gone, or if her light just, you know, disperses, or however you say that fucking word, the castle basically falls, and, you know, shit gets tragic for the mermaids, essentially. So basically, you know, not light. What the fuck? Lara is what I meant to say. Basically, Lara is the person holding this all together, because her light is what holds everything together for the castle and for the mermaids, essentially. But besides all that, though, we are going to talk about 1780, because I want to talk about this specific character named Grace, who is disguised as this granny. And the reason why Grace is so important is because she's necessarily the reason why it begins, because of everything that she does, but also because of her motive. Because her motive at the very beginning was to basically disguise herself as this grandma, to basically get into the castle, because she was banished anyway. She was banished because she couldn't get in, because she basically did something forbidden. And I guess what she did was, I don't know if this is true, but I think some shit happened, like she's seen a human, or she fell in love with a human. She did something that got her banished, something forbidden. And the reason why it's not something she's supposed to do is because these mermaids absolutely hate humans. They think they are hideous, they think this and that, like they just don't fuck with humans at all. And at the very beginning, I was questioning, like, why, my nigga? Then when I got deeper into the story and stuff like that, and I seen some of the shit that was going on, and I seen how the humans would react to the mermaids when they would see them, I would start to understand. Because it's like, bro, like I would see some situations, like with Lisa, for example, Lara's sister. We are going a little fast forward with this one, but I basically want to talk about this to get my point across. She basically gets captured by a bunch of humans, and then they just do a bunch of like sad shit. Basically, they basically use her as like a display, like a trophy. Like they bring her to like a bunch of shows to like show her off as like, oh, look at what we caught this mythical creature here, and look at it. Like they're using her as like a trophy rather than like respecting her as a living being. And then when they get done with her, they would keep her in this little box and keep her trapped, and then they will put covers over the box and then just leave her in dark. It was very sad. It's a very sad backstory with her, and it shows why she hates humans, and it definitely shows why they hate humans too, because the way humans treat the mermaids, you feel me? So yeah, it's very understandable. I think the whole point is more so to get the mermaids and the humans to coexist as one in some sort of way. And they do accomplish this in some type of way, because later down the line in the story, they do get Lara to become accepted by not just one human, but another human that is also a lover candidate for her. So it's like, it's good to see, you know what I'm saying? And it's more so proving her dad's ideology wrong about the humans. His ideology isn't entirely wrong, because it's not like every single human is gonna be on some,
oh yeah, mermaids are cool.
It's not just gonna be that, but to see that there are some humans that know that she is a mermaid and still fuck with her, it shows that there are good humans out there, which is basically, you know, breaking his philosophy that, oh, all humans are despicable and hideous creatures. But long story short, because I don't want to go into every single nitty gritty detail, because as I said before, and as I'll always say, I'm only here to explain how I enjoyed it, not to really recommend it to anybody or to like fully review it. So long story short, she does essentially fall in love with a prince. This doesn't really go too well for her, because the prince does end up finding out that she is a mermaid, and he ends up becoming disgusted. And all this happens because of Grace, the witch. And how Grace was able to pull this off is because Lara actually ends up becoming imprisoned, because Lara actually ends up getting caught with forbidden items from the human lands, as they will say. And her father wasn't really fucking with that. And basically, he was on some,
how could you betraying me like this? I thought I told you not to get connected to those humans, not to go anywhere near those humans.
And basically, Lara would say something like this.
I don't get it.
What are you saying?
I wonder if, well, are humans really such hideous creatures after all?
And after she said that nigga was not fucking with that shit at all. He was saying some shit like, bro, silence would have been better than saying anything at all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't fucking with that. And after that, he ends up just imprisoning her, and that's how Grace ended up getting to Lara. And essentially, Grace gives Lara this potion to take to become a human. And at first, Lara was a little fishy about it, but then after a while, her interest was a lot stronger than her worry. So being interested in seeing how humans are and wanting to see how the human world is, Lara actually ends up drinking a potion and actually ends up becoming a human. But this came with a twist. She wasn't able to speak. So basically, Grace essentially set her up for failure, my nigga. And fast forward all the way here, she does end up falling in love with a prince somehow. I mean, without having any speech or anything. I just guess she's just the top of the top, because I don't know how the fuck that still happened when she had no fucking speech at all. My nigga said he ain't need no words, no nothing. Just off her looks alone, she qualifies. He does end up rejecting her because he does end up finding out that she is a mermaid because her form starts to show. And basically that firsthand shows that there are humans out there that genuinely dislike mermaids or think they look weird or this and that, because it's not something you usually see on a daily basis. Like, imagine seeing something that you don't usually see, something that's very unusual to you, something that's just uncanny. Imagine if you seen something like that. You would probably be weirded out too. So it's just like, it's kind of understandable how he kind of got weirded out. But obviously that ended up hurting Lara very bad, and Lara actually dies here. And it's all because of motherfucking Grace. But she does end up rebirthing 200 years later, which is like, damn, nigga, everybody is gone at that point. Prince long dead, everybody that was alive is long dead. It's like, damn, nigga, everybody's gone. And she does rebirth at like the worst time possible because her family is also long gone. Now, they're not essentially permanently dead, but shit, they might as well be dead, nigga, because they're in like a deep slumber until she does a certain thing, which is fall in love with a human. But regardless, that's essentially what sparks the whole story. So the whole reason this even turns into a romance is because, you know, her family goes into a deep slumber and she has to save them by falling in love with somebody that genuinely loves her. And that's basically the entire story, essentially. But yes, Lara does turn into a human again and does end up actually bumping into this person named Madi. And they don't really have the best meeting, you know what I'm saying? They don't really have the best meeting. It's not really the most welcoming meeting, you know what I'm saying? She does get rocked in her shit, but you know, it is what it is, my nigga. They end up meeting, and essentially this, you know, it ends up making them become the bestest of friends later down the line in the story. And just some information on Madi, she is a boxing trainee, so essentially just an amateur boxer trying to become a professional boxer down the line in the future. And that motherfucker is nice. I ain't gonna lie, she nice, gang. Like, she had a little fight in one of the episodes, and I'm not gonna lie, that shit had me hyped, because them niggas was boxing. I'm not gonna lie, them niggas was throwing them motherfuckers. And yes, as I said, they do become very good friends and they do become very close. So essentially at the start of everything, you know, after their first meeting, Lara does stay with Madi, but of course it doesn't start off just sunshine and rainbows, because obviously Lara does start off scared of Madi, because Madi is a human, and from Lara's experience, humans don't accept mermaids kindly. But later down the line, they do become very close friends. And I feel like what sparks this is literally when Lara was running away and she did get away from Madi. Madi necessarily wasn't chasing her at first, but Grace does tell Madi that Lara is a princess, and then Madi says she doesn't doesn't care at first because obviously Marty has to focus on what she got going on, but she does end up coming across Lara drowning because Lara isn't a mermaid anymore. She is a human. So now that she's in a human body, she can't necessarily breathe underwater like she could before when she was a mermaid. So yeah, Lara does try to swim and she does try to go back home, but Marty ends up saving her, and I feel like that's the first thing that sparks the entire friendship, because after that she gains a respect for Marty, and they end up getting closer and closer and closer throughout the episodes, and essentially they just end up becoming very good friends. And that's essentially the dynamic that we stick throughout the entire series, I presume. But it's only been like 7 episodes so far. I don't know if a newer episode is gonna come out. I don't know if season 1 is over. I'm not sure, but you know, through episode 2 through episode 7, that has been like our main dynamic. But obviously there are some other characters like Grace, who is a fish of course now, and then there is also Lisa, who is actually one of the mermaids that are still alive and, you know, not sleeping, because obviously the other mermaids are in a slumber, but Lisa is one of the ones that are actually awake. Lisa knows that Lara is alive, but Lara doesn't know that Lisa is alive and awake until after a while, which they do have an encounter. It doesn't end up being the happiest reunion because Lisa is trying to get Lara away from the humans that she is hanging with, which Lara isn't really fucking with because she's actually fucking with the humans that she is hanging around with, because these humans actually fuck with her. But obviously Lisa doesn't feel that way because of the shit that Lisa has been through. So obviously Lisa doesn't want any sort of like trauma or any sort of thing to happen with Lara when it comes to these humans, but Lisa just doesn't know that these humans aren't the same as the humans that she encountered. And essentially she was sending this little nigga to do it. I don't know what the fuck this nigga was finna do. I don't know if he was finna kill them. I don't know what he was finna do to Marty and her family, but essentially Lara stops this because her feelings essentially start to explode. Like she starts like getting a little scared and shit like that, and basically this fucking thing attacks this nigga, and it basically stops him from doing whatever the fuck he was about to do. So she essentially saves Marty and her family without even knowing what power she even has or what the fuck she just did. And the little nigga that I was talking about, his name is Kota, and he is very close with Lisa. And the reason why they're on the land together in the first place is because Kota actually ends up saving Lisa from the whole shit that I was talking about before. So yeah, he saves her and he tries to have her go back home, and you know, he tries to get her to go back into the water, but she doesn't want to go back into the water because, you know, he saved her, and essentially they have a little moment. She drinks the same potion that they drank to become a human, and essentially she becomes a human just like them. But she became a human before Lara did because Lara was dead at this time. So Kota was, I guess, the first person to become a human after Lara did first, before she died, and then it was Lisa. So yeah, she ends up becoming a human, and this is how we are here now. And basically, just to point this out, if they don't drink these potions, essentially if Lisa and Kota don't drink these potions, they will die because I guess the human transformation doesn't last like permanently, or doesn't last for a long time if you don't steadily drink these potions. And essentially that's like that's a lot of the backstory. Like they're learning how to restock or refill on these potions because they need them to stay in this form, and they need them to essentially stay alive. And obviously they can't go to the witch to ask for, because obviously the witch is their op. But yeah, essentially those whole 200 years, that's how they were living. Like it was Kota and Lisa, and then Lara comes back 200 years, you know, later. But yeah, that's essentially all the characters besides one more, which is the person Lara actually falls in love with. I actually forgot the nigga's name, but he looks just like the prince that Lara fell in love with first, that ended up rejecting her. So obviously at first she sees him, and obviously she feels a certain type of way, and she starts to transform into her mermaid form again because, you know, she was hella flustered. And Marty obviously peeps this, and then throws her off into the water because, I mean, she's turning into a mermaid, so throws her into the water and obviously goes down to save her. The whole time, the nigga seen the transformation and all, so he already knew what was up. He already knew that Lara was a mermaid, but the nigga wasn't disgusted and he actually was fucking with her. And essentially, long story short, because I've been talking about this for mad long, they grow a little bond for each other. Like, essentially, he gains an interest for Lara and he actually shows up to her job to like tell her like, yo, let me get your contact info and, you know, essentially let me get your Instagram. Shawty, like, he tries to get her, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, he succeeds. Things don't go too well at first because she gets a lot of flashbacks of like the past with the prince that rejected her before, but you know what I'm saying, after a while things do go well and things go well and they become something. Essentially, I would say that they are something, you know what I'm saying? So, or it's building up to be that. But yes, that's essentially every character that has like a big significance in the story. I mean, there are some other ones like, I guess, Maudie's and Lara's boss that allows them to work at this job, but essentially, yes, that's most of the characters I wanted to talk about. And yeah, essentially, gang, this is a very unique and good anime so far. Like, even the animation and the fucking art style, it gives 1990s, you know what I'm saying? Like, in a modern era, like, we in 2026, nigga, and this animation gives 1990s style. Like, obviously, it's still very good animation, it's still very good art style, but like, the way the art style and shit look, it just looks very 1990s, you know, 80s oriented, and that's great to me. Like, that's very beautiful to me, and that's what also kind of makes this anime very unique, because you don't see a lot of animes like that nowadays that look like that type of style. Man, I gotta give it to Goodbye Lara, bro. It's a good anime so far. I fucks with it. I fuck with what's it's goddamn, I can't speak. I fuck with what it's about. I'm speaking too fast, I'm sorry, but I fuck with but yeah, man, I'm finna end it here, bro. If y'all want to check out the anime, definitely do so. It's definitely, it's definitely a good plot. It's definitely a good plot. But yeah, I'm gonna end it. Oh my god. But I'm gonna get out y'all air though, and peace.